Alright guys, as you're starting to work on the health of your feet, one of the best things you can do is get a pair of toe spacers. If you're someone like me who for a long period of time was wearing very traditional athletic shoes, shoes that have a very narrow toe box and kind of junk your toes up, force them together, then the structure of your foot has been diminished and we need to widen that back up and build back to an optimal foot structure. So getting a pair of toe spacers is huge for that. And in the beginning, I'd try to get in at least 30 minutes a day of wearing them, and that can be just hanging out around the house. But over time, as you get more comfortable with them on, start doing chores around the house with them on. Start doing lighter movements with them on, where you're really encouraging your body to perform while your feet are in this optimal structure. So start with 20 to 30 minutes just kind of sitting around the house, but build up to maybe 7 to 10 hours total throughout the week while you're also doing stuff. If you know you're going to be vacuuming or mopping the house, pop them on while you're moving around. Stuff like that is huge. You could also wear them in any of the drills I'm going to show you in the rest of the video. So let's get to the rest of the video and let's get those feet healthy. So when you're starting to work on the health of your feet, the best place to start is to get stuff moving down here. So the first drill we're going to do are called toe cars, and we're essentially just going to be moving our toes. So the first one, we're going to keep our outside 4 toes down, and we're just going to lift the big toes up by themselves. Nice controlled movement here. Then we're going to keep the big toes down, and we're going to lift just the other 4. Then we're going to raise them all up, and we're going to just press the big toes down by themselves, just like that. And the goal here is nice slow movement. Don't be jerky throughout any part of the movement, nice and slow throughout. The final one, we're going to keep the big toes up and we're going to press the other 4 down. Cool. And so for some people that's going to be a struggle. Just the ability to lift the toes in different ways like that is going to be a struggle. But over time, as you do some of the other drills in this video, it'll probably wake the feet up as you're starting to expose your foot to a lifestyle outside of a shoe. You're starting to do more barefoot activities. The feet are going to wake up. So try to do this drill every day, 5 to 8 reps of each of those. Over time, it'll get better and better. So after we've gotten the toes moving, it's time to move upstream and work on the ankle. If an ankle rotates really well, your foot's probably going to be in pretty good shape. So let's get the ankles rotating well. I'm going to pull my shin in and hold it right about here, fingers interlaced. And initially I'm going to pull my foot towards me, and you should feel this shin muscle get tight while you're holding that position. From there, I'm going to bring my foot to the inside as much as I can, max out going to the inside. Then I'm going to press down like I'm pressing on a gas pedal. Go as low as I can. Maybe you're even scraping the floor. Then we're going to bring it to the outside. Go as far to the outside as you can, and then bring it back up. Back to that position where our shin muscle right here feels tight, and then we're going to reverse that. We're making the biggest circle we can with the foot. All the movement is happening at the ankle, just like that. Make sure and keep the hands here. We are not just pivoting. You can pivot from the knee, if you see that right there, and by keeping the hands here, you'll limit that motion. So just like the toe cars, I would do that daily. So the next drill is a kneeling foot stretch. So we're going to set this up. We're going to be on the balls of our feet and our knees just like this, leaning forward a bit to start. And what we're going to do is we're going to rock back, drive the heels back, come right back, knees on the ground again. And what this is doing is we're getting a really nice stretch through the arch and through the toes as well. So do 10 of these, and then after 10, you're going to then try to sit up as tall as you can, butt back to the heels, just hanging out here. If this is too much, lean forward a bit, and if that's too much too, have your hands down. Anything that you can do to keep that stretch through the arch. But ideally hanging out in this stretch position for 20 to 30 seconds. So 10 reps rocking and then hanging out for 20 to 30 seconds. So let's now work on some strength of the foot. So we're going to be standing on one leg here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to try to spread my toes as wide as I can so I get a really wide base of support, and then I'm going to think about gripping the ground with that foot. So you should see my arch lift up a little bit when I kind of make that gripping movement. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep the foot engaged like that the entire time. And for some, just standing on one leg might be an awesome stimulus. 10, 20 seconds of this might exhaust your foot, and that's great. Do that. For some, it might be too much, and if it is, if this feels like it's just way too taxing, put just your big toe down, but try to keep enough weight on this leg where it really forces you to work that foot. If standing on one leg is pretty easy, let's make it a little harder by reaching out with our other foot as far as we can to the front, to the side, back, around the other side, and I'm just lightly tapping my big toe to the floor. Just changing your position like that is really going to force the planted foot to work. All the muscles and tendons and ligaments that act on that foot are going to have to wake up and be engaged. So a good stimulus there is play around with that 60 seconds on each foot, barely tapping this foot out to the side. The foot should feel really well worked in a good way at the end of that. So as your feet are starting to get stronger, it's time to take your bare feet and expose them to varying terrain. So I'm lucky to have this nice rock set up in my backyard, and I love coming out here and just kind of walking around, moving around. It's nice to do yard work back here barefoot where I'm just constantly on these rocks. So go find something in your area that's similar to this and just move around on it. Just stand in various positions, do some squats. Don't do anything that's painful, but uncomfortable is great. Uncomfortable means you're making some adaptations and your feet are getting stronger. When I'm at my house and at my stand-up desk at work, I love having one of these rock mats from the Toe Spacer group. It is fantastic for simulating something like this while you're at your stand-up desk just hanging out, and inevitably it forces you to kind of move around more. You'll do stuff like this, so not only will you be exposing your feet to a great stimulus, you'll be moving around more too. So get outside, find something like this, and also if you want to take it to the next level, get one of these for the house, and it'll really help the feet out.